like to open it up to questions that folks in the audience might have, and if we can't hear you, I'll repeat them, and you can let me know if you want to direct them to anyone in particular. So does anybody have any questions? Sure.
I was just, you may be the best person to answer this question. I was just wondering if there is any sort of Senate equivalent bill at this time, and also if in either house of Congress, if there are any piece of legislation in the past that are similar to this you've been attempting.
Sure. So there is not a Senate companion bill at this stage of the game. We've been working on building momentum in the House and increasing the number of co-sponsors of the bill. And Congressman Stark reintroduced the bill yesterday, so that's where the bill status is. And there has not been a piece of legislation ever before at the federal level dealing with opening up access to adoption and foster care and lowering the barriers to the numbers of people who could provide homes to children who are in our foster care system who need those permanent placements. So that is the state of things right now. Sure.
I guess the question to the ACL, you personally, maybe on somebody, in terms of, in light of breaking up the system, have you looked at the new law, Foster Connections law, and other mandates around keeping siblings together as possible?
I'm sorry, you did the last part of your.
In terms of the state of Florida, maybe in violation of it.
Well, you know, our goal and hope is to prevail in the challenge to the law and to have Mark and his partner really adopt these toys. So that's what I'm doing.
Other questions?
My question involves, would the passing of Representative Stark's bill alleviate Mr. Gill's situation?
Well, it certainly would send a very strong signal to the state of Florida that its current statute banning adoption is bad. Florida would lose federal funding. Any agency that contracts to receive federal funding would lose it. And I think that in combination with the lawsuit that the ACLU is pursuing certainly would help alleviate the situation. And it would certainly help move the path forward so that other families don't find themselves in that situation, which is really what we ultimately want to see have happen. Sure.
I'm with the Center for American Progress, and we're in fact writing a report on the ballot initiative in Arkansas. And in particular, we're looking at religious activity on both sides of the issue. And my question is for anybody on the panel. Very often, Leslie, you said that litigation isn't enough. And very often the opposition comes from conservative religious communities that talk about, traditional values and really demonize same-sex parents. Does anybody have any thoughts, number one, about how to rebut that kind of demonization, and number two, how to get faith communities on board to put forth a positive moral message around these issues?
Well, I'm going to let Leslie talk about it, certainly in the litigation context, because she's had a lot of experience dealing with the faith communities in that, and then I'll say one other thing about the messaging part of it.
Yeah, I think I really don't have a lot to say about that other than that absolutely in all of the litigation that we have done around this issue, there have been faith communities supporting our position. And of course, in our country of a religious pluralistic society, so many people have all views, and certainly there has been support in friend of the court briefs from faith communities supporting our cases.
And then I'll just talk a little bit about the messaging piece, and I'm happy to open it up to other folks on the panel. At Family Equality Council, we've been engaged in conversations with faith leaders. As a matter of fact, I was just with 6 or 7 of them on Monday talking about this very issue and talking about how caring for America's children is a social justice issue. And providing families the support that they need to be healthy and strong is a social justice issue. And that faith communities have, for many, many, many long years, been a place where justice has really, really mattered. And so if we can start to help identify this as a justice issue for children, a justice issue for families, that we might be able to blunt the very conservative religious perspective around these issues. Because that's what we're talking about here, is justice for these children who need permanent, loving, stable home environments. Any questions? No? Well then, on behalf of all of our panelists, on behalf of our partners, a special thank you to Jeff Hild from Congressman Stark's office, who's here with us. And on behalf of Family Equality Council, we want to thank all of you for being here, for paying careful attention to what we talked about today, and for really helping shine a light on the fact that there are hundreds of thousands of children who need permanent, loving, stable home environments, and lowering the barriers by passing the Every Child Deserves a Family Act will go a long way to doing better for those children. So thank you so much for being here.